red.
Thank you.
Very nice.
So festive. It is.
So in that story we just saw, there are a few tweaks you had to make to the room to make it sort of just make more sense. Because I think a lot of us will walk into a room and we don't really know why it's not working for us, but it's not working for us. In that room, what was the situation?
Well, if you think about it, it's unusual to have two sets of built-ins in a room, and one of them was done in typical white, and the other one was done in a charcoal, almost a black. So, and that was on the far end of the room, and because it was going to be a multi-purpose room, to put a white sofa opposite that dark black built-in would just make it, in terms of balance and scale, proportion, just make it off.
Yeah.
So thankfully my clients liked drama, they wanted that, so we went with a nice dark charcoal sofa, made it a little more modern. I made it as large as I could, but it really helped to balance off all of the weight on the other side.
Nice. Okay, you say you can actually sort of look at a space, look at a picture, and you can mark out why things are going to work and why they're not.
Well, you know what happens sometimes on City Line? We get the befores, and invariably, if you would take any photograph of a room and you cover up the entire bottom portion of that room and you just look at the ceiling, there's almost nothing going on. If you were to cover up the ceiling and you look at the bottom, it's filled with activity. And that also creates an imbalance. So we do have to address also the imbalance that happens from the ceiling to the floor. It can mean amazing light fixture, it can mean a color on the ceiling, it can mean layered lighting plan, so an artwork up high, things that create that balance, because you're right, you might consciously not even know what's bugging you, but psychologically you're aware that something isn't right.
Yeah, that room that you walk into and you're like, what is it? Is it too light? Is it too dark? It's like something just doesn't feel right. So you kind of have to go through that test to figure out how to make it work.
The thing is, most of us go to the store and buy something.
Right.
And we just take a stab at it.
For sure.
And then you come home with a $2,000 chair and that wasn't right.
It doesn't work.
And then the husband says, well, that's the last chair I'm buying. That's it. No more chairs, right? Amen. So figure it out on paper before you spend money.
It's kind of like fashion too. Layering is harder than just putting together a monochromatic outfit, right? So layering makes it tough. Yeah, Jackie?
Well, another thing too is that often builders will not put a window right in the middle of the room, and it's slightly off, and so I don't know how many window treatments you're trying to fake it so that it looks balanced, so that the two panels actually look the same, and we do fake it all the time, but it's really challenging, and that's back to your point where you sometimes have to go custom. You have to really look at it and say, I've got to bite the bullet, and I've got to have a professional in to take a look at it to make sure that it's going to work. And it means buying a special rod or extra yardage just to balance off the drapery. No one will ever know it, but the room will suddenly feel right.
Yeah.